Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Season 6 of MotoGP 21 Career Mode. Yes, you heard that right, it is Season 6 and about 3 years later from when we started. First off, we're going to go straight into my stats over the previous 5 years. We have 3 championships, should have been 4. Eagle-eyed viewers and people that remember back to Suzuki years where the last race of the season basically didn't happen. We lost the championship because of that. We should have had a second GP title, but at the moment we only have 1. Season 6 starts off with us just after signing for Monster Energy Yamaha. And boys, it's going to be a good season. So we're going to have a completely vanilla season, and then we're going to go to a fully modded season for next year. And I'm not going to give any hints away for the following season. I'm not going to tell you who we'll be riding for. All of that will come throughout the season. But in today's episode, as we get back on episode 87, believe it or not, we will be doing pre-season tests and round 1 at Qatar. Now the calendar of 2021 was pretty weird, so we have a double barrel Qatar start followed by Portimao, Jerez, Le Mans, Mugello, Catalunya, then a test the week between that and Sachsenring. Then we have Assen, then we have a nice break where we have double Red Bull rings. Then we have Silverstone, Aragon, Misano, Austin very late in the season, people forget that even happened. Misano, Portimao again, so a third triple header, or third double header I should say. Finishing off for round 18, Valencia. So now we're going to jump off to Qatar for our pre-season test before round 1 and try out our YZR M1 for the very first time. Let's hit it. So here we are in Qatar for our winter test. Now we have 3 iterations of our M1 for the season coming up. So we have basically no different frame. Unfortunately, we have 3 same frames. Not really an issue when you consider Yamaha was probably one of the best frames on the grid at the time. Probably will not be an issue. Now we do have 3 different engines. We have kind of a middle of the road, we have more fuel consumption, probably less power, and then a very aggressive all out, all singing, all dancing kind of inline 4 engine. So going to do a bit of testing on all of them, kind of get back towards the end, and then we'll make a decision before we leave the test on what direction we reckon we'll go with, and see hopefully we make the right decision. Because again, if some of you remember, I did make wrong decisions before in the previous years. I made a terrible decision on the engine, and that cost me dearly for a long part of that season. And I think that season we finished 7th, and that was one of those seasons where if I had the bike I probably could have won the title there as well. So it's actually quite critical that we actually make the right decision, and I already have in my head an idea of what I want to go with and work my way around it, but we'll see what we can do, because yeah, it's going to be a very important decision to make. But let's jump on and get some laps done. So at the end of the test, after some laps on 2 out of the 3 packages, didn't decide to go on the 3rd one due to the fact of the issues I had with the other engines. Overall, probably a lack of rear grip is my biggest, most concerning thing. Mainly corner entry, a bit corner exit. Again, Qatar, I suppose. Pre-season track's not going to be up to speed, so we need to think as well for the season that we're on a dirty track here in Qatar opening round of the season. So time we get to the race 1, I'd imagine the bike will feel better, but a small bit of setting up I'd say will just bring the bike back to my favour. But at the moment, with a really dirty track here in Qatar at the winter test, I must say that it just had a little bit of rear grip issues. That was my biggest concern. We've decided to go with package 2, so the probably lowest power engine out of the 3. The first one I just had way too much moments on corner exit, it was just pumping, and then I was never going to go and try the increased power one, because if that was already too much of an issue I was never going to be able to make this work. So best times and most consistent times were done on package 2, so that is what we will select for the season, and let's hope it's not a mistake. So our first outing on the M1 in our full factory colours. It's an exciting season ahead, a prosperous season that awaits us. And I must say I'm pretty excited to see, can we defend our title on the Japanese manufacturer of Yamaha after taking our one and only MotoGP title so far on the Ducati. It's going to be a long season, but it's going to be a fun one nonetheless, and it starts here in Qatar in the day of free practice 1 on Friday. So by the end of this weekend and next weekend we'll probably be sick aside of Qatar. Nonetheless, it's going to be a fun little battle to start off the season. So at the end of the combined free practice, and we are all the way down behind Mr. Rossi himself, P22. In the morning, it just seems like the tyre is being eaten by the high temps maybe. Again, a lack of rear grip. I'm actually slower this weekend so far than I was in the test, which is a tad bit worrying. But main issue again is just drive grip and eating tires now. Again, didn't maybe do as many long runs as I probably maybe could or should have done at the test, but I definitely am starting to worry about long race runs because I tried a soft front, soft rear, they just get chewed up. Hard rear works okay, but I don't think the performance is there to get me through a race. Only 1.2 off, it's not a massive margin. I reckon over a qualifying 1 lap's push, I'll be able to close the difference. We of course will be going through Q1. We'll be up against the like of Binder, Marquez, and a couple of other top names, so it's not going to be guaranteed that we even get into Q2 on our first weekend on the Yamaha, but nonetheless it's going to be a tough weekend. It's going to be a tough season to get our head around this Yamaha because it clearly has its flaws and its quirks are a lot different than the Ducati that I'm used to, so it's going to take me a couple of rounds maybe just to get my head around it, and we'll see. Maybe we get to likes of Jerez or Le Mans, I might start to deal with it a bit more, but for right now I'm just maybe overriding it or just kind of forcing the fit, and that's just not really working with the Yamaha. So on to Q1. We're going to try our best to get through to Q2, but I'm not really confident that we'll be able to find that much time to make it into the top 10. So once again, we are under the lights at Qatar here for Q1. Currently 52.6 is the benchmark set by Frankie Morbidelli. Surely as a factory we should be beating that. We're up in a soft rear and a scrubbed front medium that we used a bit on Saturday morning in free practice 3. So just going to focus, see what I can get out of it. Cooler temperatures should, in theory, give me a bit more temperature with the rear. Shouldn't be as of an issue and should just get a bit more longevity, so I might get the full lap out of it. But we'll see if we can make it into Q2. Again, it's going to be difficult. So we did it indeed. We managed to get through into Q2. By far my best lap and my best feelings on, well, maybe not best feeling, I think again, maybe even on them laps I did there Q1, probably even force it more than I had forced it previously, and just force the lap time to show sheer will and determination to get that lap time out to get into the second part of qualifying. And at least now we'll be starting at a guaranteed top 12. We're kind of in and about for the race, and again, Sundays are our points to give it out for us, so it'll be a lot more interesting when we get into the race. See, can we battle with these guys, and how the Yamaha stacks up in the race battle. As of right now, we've only ridden it on our own roughly for most of this weekend and the pre-season, so for the most part we need to just see what there's like against other bikes. Are we going to have the typical Yamaha situation of fast everywhere but can't overtake, or is it going to be another issue or something like that? So again, I'm really eager to get race 1 underway just to see where we end up and just to see basically the whole experience. But we still have Q1 or Q2 to go through, so let's jump now to Q2 and see where we can qualify. So our crew chief just said to me there we have a small technical issue, an electrical issue with the bike. So at the moment it doesn't look like we're going to make it out in the next 5 to 10 minutes. They are working on it, as you can see in the background, to see can we get it fixed. Unknown ECU issue at the moment, and the bike isn't operating properly. So at the moment we are stranded in Q2. We can't get out on track, so hopefully by the end of the session we'll get out and get a lap in and at least get ourselves a lap time on the table and kind of put us somewhere on the grid. But for now, worrying times after our kind of first sessions really, that we've already a mechanical with the bike. So unfortunately we didn't even get out in Q2. The mechanics couldn't get it going in time. Got the bike started about 15 seconds ago. Wasn't enough time to get out before the checker flag and get a full lap in. So unfortunately, more work to do in tomorrow's warm-up. Judging by our pace, we probably could have been pretty close to the front as well with the lap time we did in Q2. So again, Maybe not all bad news, but unfortunately for me, it's going to be a P12 start with no time set in Q2. So again, small little teething issues here with the factory Yamaha Monster Energy team. So at the moment, just need to iron these issues out. A couple of mechanicals here and there, a few small issues, and in fact the bike isn't working 100%. I think maybe the 2021 bike isn't working as well as the previous generation. So at the moment, we again just need to iron some issues out. But good to see Fabio and PT up there again. So showing the bike has potential when it's running, and we should be able to match them hopefully for most of the season and kind of be thereabouts. But again, just a small little change that we didn't make out into Q2 with the mechanical, but nonetheless, P12 for the race isn't a nightmare. We can go forward, we can still have a good race. It's a long race here in Qatar, it's a nutritional one, so we just get dug in and get stuck in. Let's jump over now to the Grand Prix. So I've decided to go with the medium front tyre. Our engineer kind of said the soft is kind of the favourite with most of the grid, but just it didn't work for me on the 2 days I tried it. Even the cooler temperatures, maybe it might come back to me, but I just didn't want to risk it in the first race. We both agreed that it would be best to run the medium rear. It's kind of, again, it's throughout the field, it seems to be the best one for the race, and both our teammates are running the medium rear, I believe, so it should be an interesting one. But again, it's going to be an nutritional one, and again, I don't know how this bike will handle over a full race distance. We've known that in practice it was a bit heavy on tyres, but we probably just need to maybe just do some mapping throughout the races and just make sure that we don't have too much spin and we're a bit nice and smooth and kind of calm the bike in again. First race, so nerves are high, but as soon as the lights goes out, we'll be fine and we'll be into the race and we'll be excited.
The Qatar Motorcycle Grand Prix will start shortly here in Doha, and the riders are ready to compete on an amazing illuminated racetrack.
Here we go. It is time. Let's get racing, boys and girls. Not an amazing start, I must say. Interesting to see as well, our teammate went with the hardware, Fabio Quartararo that being, and a soft front, so he's listened to our engineers on the front and gone opposite on the rear. So I was considering going with it, I just don't know if I'll have the tyre by the end of the race, so I've gone with the recommended from the engineer of a nice medium in the rear. So let's see how that works out. So you get the first lap out of the way here just to get the tyres in the window. I've gone slightly backwards off the start. We were very tentative again, starting probably lower than I probably should have been overall, really. Oh, big move from... And we've had collision. Jorge Martin goes for a move. We do get set up and we are off the back of the group. Disaster. To be honest, I didn't expect him to go for it, and I think he just lost the front before he got to the apex. So Jorge Martin, big mistake early on here, and he's put us right behind Valentino. Well, not right behind him, but a good bit behind him. We've just cut that corner there, and again, we're just a little bit out of the silt there now, just with all the issues going on. It's been a messy lap one, so we have a lot of work to do, which is unfortunate. So here we are on lap 3. We are slightly taking time out of Valentino front. He is in a big group up to the kind of high teen or the low teens in terms of points as well on the table for us. So just trying to maintain tyre really. I just want to have something at the end when I do get to these guys that I actually can get back into the points and get back somewhere near the top 10. I can see there's a bit of a group and then there's another group, and at the front of that group is Fabio Quartararo. So looks like maybe Fabio overperformed on qualifying because he looks like he's coming back in the race. So again, maybe at this moment in time, this Yamaha maybe will just be a standout one-lap bike and isn't a great bike over the full distance on a Sunday. So you can see it just getting a bit of temperature through the left side of the rear, which is a bit worrying because there's a lot of long hang corners at the back end of this track here at Qatar. So We'll really try and just stay smooth and get onto the back of Valentino here as fast as we can and see can we get ourselves back on the points. So 51.9 from us there, so we're really showing that the medium tyre is working well, but we're just still trying to manage. We're trying to go as fast as we can. We are back now on the back of second tier pretty rider Lorenzo Salvadori. He has been dispatched by Valentino. And get up the inside of him into the next corner. We're going to have a look. Yes, so again, maybe this is going to be our issue, is trying to make these overtakes, because it showed that we're almost as quick as Miller, who's in P2. He's just maybe half a time quicker than my lap time that I did on lap 3, so at the moment maybe a flying racing line is good for me, but not this kind of stop start that I need to do behind Salvadori to make the positions up. We are now well apart of this big battle for points, so it'll be interesting to show us that we're not that slow in a straight line, which is good. But nonetheless, I just don't have the punch out of the corner, I feel like, just to kind of level some of these guys. So it looks like the two Aprilias, Tech 3 boys, are coming backwards because they are both being overtaken. Looks like to be Valentino, who's gone very wide, so is Salvadori. We're going to cut back, go wide here, and see can we get the run through the kink and get him into the next corner. Just about match him on the brakes, but he actually breaks us, in fairness to Salvadori. So again, it just don't have that little 1% that I'm missing. Something that on the Ducati I felt like I was very, very strong, easily could outbrake people, whereas on this Yamaha I just have a bit of tendencies to be tense. Let's see, we're all over the back of him again. Don't we have anywhere we can go? We go around the outside, it's not really going to work. The Aprilia of Salvadori cuts back nicely and keeps his position. I think Petrucci's tyres are going off though, because he seems to be just maybe fall to the back of the screw pretty convincingly. It looks like it doesn't have the tyres. Saying that about my tyres, the inner and outer edge of the tyres having a bad time, especially this long corner here. I'm just trying to short shift, manage my throttle a small bit, keep the spin down. Looks like as well, judging by the back wheel of Frankie, he's also having some tyre concerns, maybe even more than Petrucci. We're going to go for the inside. Nicely done. So looks like the Petronas boys, as we see a Suzuki, leave that to be Joan Mir, has tipped off. We got a third warning. That's twice they've done that now. We're just touched the grass there, or the probably AstroTurf realistically. But we're still not back into the points, which is very, very disappointing at the moment, considering we're going on to lap 6 of 8. So now Salvadori is the man who is in the points I need to get ahead of. So at this point now, maybe need to start pushing and start worrying about the tyre as much. About 2.5 laps roughly left, just slightly over. We get to run through here on Petrucci. Nowhere near to overtake. In fairness, Valentino is showing it can be done. He is moving forward, whereas I'm struggling. Valentino again showing his extreme racecraft to be able to make this Yamaha make some position. You can see, look at Frankie is gone backwards. Poor Frankie Morbidelli. He's obviously made the wrong tyre choice, or it's just a very, very high tyre deck, which is a shame because it's quite easily done on this Yamaha, I feel. So it could be a story of our season. And poor Frankie has tipped off in the background, so maybe tyre related tip off there is very unfortunate for Frankie, as he actually was doing quite well at the start, but for whatever reason just went backwards. Petrucci fights back on his RC16 into turn 1, doesn't get the move done. Gonna have to find some sort of drive from somewhere to get these boys. Petrucci's a touch wide. We're gonna hold a tight line again. He's going for the wide line, so we're gonna short shift, go for the cut back through here. Gonna go for the high line. Again though, unfortunately we just don't have the drive. We just run out of horses on the critical part of the overtake. Can we just try and go for surprise tack down into this corner? It's very risky. Again, just don't have the front end and the drive out of the previous corner. See, look, we literally are level out of here, but I don't think I'll get the move done. We actually do, surprise, surprise, but we're going to go touch wide. He's there again. There's a soft front tyre on him. Almost contact with me and the Italian on the KTM. So one more position and that will be points on our debut until Petrucci is re-overtaking us. So again, more drama here at the back of the grid for me. through here. We're really losing time because of just the overall shower shifting. Oh, there's bikes down. There's loads of bikes down. I believe that to be... So we get our 4 track limits running. We've got a few so careful. That is... Well, the top 3 has changed. It's no longer Ducati. It's inline 4s and a V4 in third. So I don't know what has happened there. I didn't see any notifications. Try and get the drive out. Get some small but more power on the straight. In the slipstream now. What can we do? As close as we've been all race. 4 wide into turn 1. It's a triple overtake. Finally we get some sort of result here. We're up into P11. We're behind. Oh, we have small bit of contact with, I believe, to be Petrucci. We'll go wide off the swooping line. See, can we maybe get him again? Try to move once again that we've been trying. Through here, get the run. Oh, went wide. We're gonna have to try on the brakes. No, the Italian is so deep. We've actually cost ourselves time through there. Salvador, he fights back, and in fairness, he does slide up the inside. I mean, that was a tidy move from the Italian, but we're going to leave the brake off and risk it down into the hairpin. Going to touch wide, try and square it off, get the run, as we do. So now we need to get back onto the back of Petrucci. Thankfully, we are in the points with the crashes from the riders in front. Hopefully, they are okay though. A lot of centre drive grip, which is good, as Salvadori has a look into the corner where me and Martin collide at the start. We're going to have to risk it all. It is the final lap. I'm going to use all the power mapping. It's not quite good for my rear tyre. I want to see, can I get close to back of Petrucci and maybe lunge at him somewhere. Kind of wishful thinking at this point of the lap, really. Avoid the AstroTurf there. We're deep. Petrucci made a mistake ahead though. Just need to kind of defend, I suppose, now from the couple behind me, but we have gone a bit wide. Thankfully though, with a small bit of fuel to burn. Out of the last corner we come, it is going to be P12, so it's going to be pretty much where we qualified. We get good drive out of the final corner and across the line. Again, disappointed.
Before we go to see the party at the podium, let's take a look at the MotoGP class final results.
So overall, slightly disappointed with that one. I felt like couldn't really do much with the incident with Martin at the start. It was just one of those things. He went for a move early, a bit aggressive. You can't win a race in lap 1, but you can certainly lose it in his case. And unfortunately for me, it did pay a hefty price because I went back to pretty much last. I think the only person behind me was him and Bastianini, who also had a poor opening lap. So for the most part, we really had to try and recover time, and it was just pretty hard. So unfortunately, not an amazing opening race, but I kind of felt like this was going to be a thing. 8.3 seconds off. Another inline 4 though. Another inline 4. That's the main thing. And I know, I believe, let me look down here who crashed. So he didn't finish. Mir was one of the crashers early in the race. Morbidetti crashed. Fastest man on track with a 50.7. Jorge Martin after his crash. Looked like these 3 boys crashed in like one incident, because you can see they're all pretty close and at the back behind us, and I didn't overtake any of them. So obviously I saw Miller and Zarco. I didn't see Pecco's bike, so maybe he was the cause of the problem, but they did finish 16th, 17th and 8th respectively. But points on our debut. Again, if you look at our fastest lap, it's faster than everyone else ahead of me. So it shows that the overall speed is there. Maybe he's not at the speed yet to battle with the likes of the Ducatis probably, and maybe Jorge Martin, you see. So again, and Mayer again showing really good speed. So Mayer could have probably won this one. But yeah, it was a fun, interesting opening race. A lot of information gathered. Best thing is we get to do this all again next time out, as we'll have the second Qatar race. So maybe if we can get a bit more up the grid in qualifying, if we don't have any issues in Q2, we might actually have some chance of battling for the win. So that is where we leave it for episode 1 of season 6, episode 87 or something overall. It was an interesting episode, an episode where I felt like I might struggle with just the overall speed, and so far it does look like we are at a disadvantage in places, but nonetheless I do feel like it is potential That'll make a good battling season. It'll be good to see our progression from the tests in Qatar to the end of the season, where we can go. And I still feel like I have a chance of winning this title. Anything can happen over an 18 race season, and I'm really excited to carry on the season. So I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider dropping a like down below, drop a comment to help me out with the algorithm. Everybody knows more comments, more likes, more everything equals more eyes on the channel. It's just good for the creator. So hopefully you did enjoy it, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Thank you all for watching. Slán go full.